Don't make me dance, I'm not a monkey, I told you. Yeah, it's about time for the Power Rankings. Guys, it's Thursday, which means it's time for the Onefootball Power Rankings. For those of you new around here, we look at the last 5 games from each player around Europe and basically put them into a list of top 10 with some movers, some losers, and of course our winners and losers of the week. Without further ado, let's get started. First off, and to our loser of the week, and it's Fred. Now, normally I wouldn't pick a player out for a poor performance. It's supposed to be a bit of light-hearted fun being the loser of the week. But he generally is a loser. Both games against Everton and Manchester City, he was shocking. His passing was terrible, his movement's pretty poor, and he's definitely not looking worth the £52 million that they paid for him. He could definitely be on his way out in the summer. But let's move on to something more lighthearted, and it's the winner of the week, and it's Kylian Mbappe. He hasn't played much in the last 5 games because of injury, so he doesn't make it into the top 10. However, over the weekend, he scored a hat-trick against his former club Monaco and basically won the title for PSG. In doing so, he became the youngest player in Liga history to score 30 goals in a league season. Congrats to him, he's the winner of the week. So before we start that, let's take a quick look at last week's top 10. Here were the guys in 10 to 6 with the top 5 looking like this. Lionel Messi was in there, Ishak Belfodil, Karim Benzema, and João Felix was just behind Nicolas Pepe. So let's crack on with this week's power rankings, and of course starting with number 10, which is Bernardo Silva. Now he's actually just been named in the PFA Team of the Year, and why not? He's been so brilliantly consistent, especially in the last 5 games. His last 2 have seen him pick up 2 Man of the Match awards as Manchester City have edged closer to defending their league title. He scored the all-important opening goal in the Manchester derby and has just been brilliant for Man City, so he deservedly takes his spot. Number 9, and it's Lucas Digne. Now you guys always mention that we haven't got that many defenders in the power rankings, but he seems to be in and out pretty much every other week. The left back scored a fantastic goal against Manchester United, a full volley. If you haven't seen it already, check it out. And has also been part of this brilliant Everton late surge, which could see them finish in 7th position, the best of the rest. In the last 5 games, he's been part of the defensive unit, which has 4 clean sheets, so he's well deserving a spot in this list at number 9. Number 8, and it's another defender. That's right, I'm making a big deal out of it because you always say that there aren't that many. It's Joshua Kimmich, the right back from Bayern Munich, and for me, the potential future captain of Bayern and maybe even of the German national team. He's been in flying form down that right-hand side, and he's helped Bayern Munich not only to the top of the Bundesliga, but now into the German Cup final where they will meet RB Leipzig. Kimmich's performances aren't necessarily backed up by the statistics of goals and assists, but in terms of his pass completion, his tackling and his dribbles, for a right back he's been unbelievable. Into number 7 now, and it's last week's number 10, Mo Salah. Now I know you're going to have a load of questions at just to how Mo Salah has moved up 3 places, so I'm going to try and explain it. He had a fantastic game against Porto and has been in genuinely good form recently with 3 goals in 5 games. However, he didn't have such a good game against Cardiff. It was pretty average at best. But the reason he moved up is that so many players didn't play so well. In the middle of the pack last week were Thiago from Bayern, Lionel Messi, of course, and Eden Hazard. All 3 of those barely played over the weekend or didn't have the most spectacular games, meaning that their average rating has dropped, so Salah has moved up. This is how the power rankings work. For example, Lionel Messi against Sociedad, he had an okay game. He got an assist, wasn't up to his usual best. He played less than half an hour against Alaves, meaning that his chance to pick up some points dropped, so Salah moves into a higher position. I always have to give some sort of Lionel Messi update because you guys always ask where he is. Check the last 5 games before asking me where he is and you'll see why he may not be in the top 10. Of course, the most recent ones count for more, and the 5th most recent one counts for a little less. So with Mo Salah in 7th, it's his Liverpool teammate in number 6, and it's Virgil van Dijk. That's right, the 3rd defender on this list. In the last few games, he's kept some brilliant clean sheets as well as scoring against Porto and getting an assist against Chelsea. Liverpool are keeping the title race alive, and they sit only 1 point behind Manchester City, and if reports are to be believed, Virgil van Dijk has also won himself the PFA Player of the Year award. So a pretty good week for him all round. He sits in at number 6. In at number 5, and it's last week's number 1, Nicolas Pepe, meaning that there'll be a new person sitting on top of the table. Stick around for that a little later on in the video, but it's Nicolas Pepe at number 5 as his Lille side pretty much conceded defeat in the chase for the league title. Even though he's been in good form recently, Pepe wasn't in his best best at the weekend, and the draw before PSG even kicked a ball saw them crowned champions. Of course, like I always say, it's the last 5 games, so with Nicolas Pepe having good form overall, he manages to stay in the top 5. However, he has moved down from number 1. Into number 4 now, and just outside the top 3 is Robert Lewandowski. He was sitting in number 4 a few weeks ago, moved down to number 8, and now he's back up to number 4 because he keeps finding the back of the net. He scored 2 goals in Bayern Munich's semi-final victory over Bremen to see them through to the cup final, as we mentioned earlier with Joshua Kimmich. When Kimmich does all the build-up play and the rest of the Bayern guys get it forward, inevitably Robert Lewandowski is there to stick the ball in the back of the net. He's now got 6 goals in his last 5 games and sits in number 4. Into number 3 now, and it's last week's number 2 who has moved down 1 place, and it's João Felix. After last week's crushing 2-0 defeat, which meant that Benfica went out of the European... I've just made it up as I went along there. Last week, his Benfica side went out of the Europa League at the quarter-final stage to Frankfurt, so they needed a bit of a pick-me-up at the weekend, and João Felix provided just that. 2 goals and an assist in their 6-0 victory means that he now has 6 goals and 4 assists in his last 5 games. That's not bad form for someone dubbed the new Cristiano Ronaldo. So now we reach the last 2. For those of you guys who watch every week, you'll know exactly what happens. But for those of you who are new around here, I present both cases for the first and second position, and then I tell you who wins right at the end. So first off, we have Karim Benzema. The guy has been on ridiculous form, and if there were any questions that he may be sold in the summer or replaced, well, it's these kind of rumours that have obviously kicked his ass into gear. He scored a hat-trick over the weekend against Athletic Bilbao and now has every single goal that Real Madrid have scored the last 8 times they've hit the back of the net. Some incredible form from Benzema, and who knows, he may still be the number 1 striker at Real Madrid next season. It's clear that he's benefiting from Cristiano Ronaldo leaving, although Real Madrid as a whole aren't. And the other contender to the top of the table this week is Ishak Belfodil. You guys remember him as the Hoffenheim attacker who actually was number 1 2 weeks ago. We had a few people in the comment section saying, who is he? I don't really know about him. I don't really care. Well, you guys want the power rankings and who the best players in Europe are at the moment, and if he's up there, he deserves to be. The attacker helped Hoffenheim to smash Schalke in their own backyard and picked up 2 goals and assists, meaning that he now has 7 goals, 3 assists and 3 Man of the Match awards in the last 5 games. That's incredible form for him, and Hoffenheim look to be challenging for a Champions League spot for next season. He's a well-deserved contender for the top spot this week. So before I reveal who is number 1, just a quick reminder to let me know all of your thoughts down below. Of course, the power rankings are here every single Thursday, and you can smash the like button whilst you're in the comment section. Let me know who would have been your number 1, who you would have had in the top 10, and who you would have kicked out. So without any further ado, who is number 1 this week? It's Karim Benzema. He just managed to edge out Ishak Belfodil on the rating system, and he has smashed in some incredible goals in the last few weeks, which shows that he still has plenty to offer Real Madrid. Until next Thursday, I will see you guys later.